Hello, hello. Winter King back. Okay, here's part 2 of my trip down memory lane via movies. Oh, what can I say? Alright, here's the next one. Tron. I know it's not, it wasn't the best, but, what it was. But we're not talking about the movies. Anyways, this one, this is kind of hard. Because of what happened with the final outcome. But this takes me back to when I was much younger and went to go visit a family down in Tennessee. And we were sitting there, went to the movie theater and saw this. And I remember we thought it was so cool. And I got to meet my cousin, one of my cousins, for the first time. And we became pretty good friends. Pretty doggone good friends. And we would talk to each other. We'd write each other. I'd call him on the phone because I lived in California and he lived in Tennessee. And then, just that time, hanging out by the railroad tracks and the crazy, creepy dude that was down there that kind of scared the shit out of us and everything. But then, it also takes me back because quite a few years ago he was murdered, and I talked to him the day that he was actually murdered. But anyways, it just, I like the movie and I keep it around because it reminds me of him. Alright, on to lighter on. Master of the Flying Guillotine. Oh, hello, Ditto. Master of the Flying Guillotine. This is another movie, Saturday mornings, Kung Fu theater with my father. I remember I used to wake up, it was, it followed, if I remember correctly, I think it followed Elvira. I believe it did. But, you know what, I'm not 100% sure on that. Anyways, Kung Fu theater. Out of every single of those crazy, wild Hong Kong movies that we watched together, this one always stuck out. This one was my favorite. And I remember anytime I could find that was coming on TV, by God, I tried to do everything I could to make sure I was there. When it finally got a DVD release, oh, brothers and sisters, I jumped on this quicker than stink on shit. Excuse the pun, but seriously. And I shared this with my oldest boy, and we just sit there and we've watched it a few times together. And it really takes me back to sitting on the couch with my dad. And I hope that my son, when he gets older and he's sitting with my grandchild, that he can turn to them and say, I remember sitting on the couch watching this with my dad. I hope that happens. And I'm going to bring out two right here. Oh, man, these really bring back memories. And I got something special coming up with these. Very special. Anyways, Jaws and Jaws 2. Brought these up because of the simple fact, no, doesn't have what I'm looking for. Anyways, never mind. There was a man who was actually like a father to me, and he still is. In fact, I talked to him and everything. I need to call him. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he's very close to my family and very close to my heart. He was the stuntman for these movies. When they couldn't get the little tiny midget dude down in Australia to stay in the shark because he got scared because his cage got ripped apart, well, they had to go and they took Bruce, that was the name of the shark, as you know, and refilmed him in the pool, but had a stuntman go into the cage and have it destroyed. That stuntman was, the guy that was like a father to me, Frank Sparks. In this one, he played in this one, he is the very first diver to die. When you got the two scuba divers going underwater, and then the one turns real quick with the camera, and he's all, he gets eaten by the shark, but that's Frank. So, anytime I see these, I think of Frank, and I think of growing up, and I think all the time that he showed us how to fall from high places and all the little tricks to stunt work and things. And my mom coming home to find that we had taken our mattresses out of our room, stuck them on the side of the house, and we're acting like we were getting shot off the roof and falling onto our mattresses. I don't know if she was more mad or if she was more scared, but either way, she was livid. She went crazy. But we never stopped there. In fact, she told us that she didn't think we'd ever reach the age of 18. Not because of, what she would do to us, or that we were, into drugs or anything, but no, just because we did crazy crap like that, jumping off our roofs and riding our bikes the way we did, and we were insane. I don't even know how we survived half the time, now that I think about it. Das Boot. I know I mentioned this before, because I also have, this is not the Steelbook edition, this is the Region 1 edition. I don't know, is it 2-disc? No, it's a flipper. Anyways, this is the Region 1. I have this, but I got the Steelbook because I got a really good deal on it. But this movie takes me back to while I was in the Army and while I was stationed in New York. There was a base called Fort Wadsworth that was getting ready to be transferred over to the Navy. And at the time it was Army, and the only people, it housed military families. That's pretty much what it was, just a military family housing base. But what it was we were stationed at Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn, but we had to go over the bridge in Staten Island to get to Fort Wadsworth. And they only had 2 MPs on duty at any given time. Well, I remember sitting there with my buddy, Jimmy Perez. If you're out there, man, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, it was my turn. It was about, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. We had this little crappy TV that someone had donated to us in the guard shack. And it was my turn to go out and do a patrol. Well, I was trying to quit smoking, and someone came along, I think it was Jimmy, that suggested, hey, start chewing tobacco because that'll help you quit smoking. Yeah, it works, but now you're chewing tobacco. What the hell? So, I go out on patrol, but before I left, I had 2 cans of Pepsi. One I was drinking from, one I was spitting in. I left both of them behind, and I left. Go on patrol, about an hour later, come back. Step up into the shack. He's watching Das Boot. Well, he was watching Das Boot, and I remember looking at it. But then I was thirsty because, when I got back, I just needed a drink, and I was eyeballing both the Pepsi cans, thinking which one is the one I was spitting in and which is the one that I was drinking. Could not figure it out, and he knew, but he didn't say anything because he wanted to watch what I did. Lo and behold, I grabbed the wrong one, and yeah. Warm spit comes out in one giant glob, people. Let me tell you that right now. He was laughing so hard as I was outside, barfing my brains out. Das Boot brings back that memory. Very funny, very neat time. The Arrival. Yes, this is the double with The Arrival too, but who cares about that? That's not what I'm talking about. It's this one, The Arrival. This is the movie that my wife and I went to go see, and we liked Charlie Sheen's character's name. My wife was pregnant with our first boy, and we decided, we were sitting there going, well, coming up with names. Well, the character's name, as you know, is Zane Zeminski. We liked Zane, so we ended up naming our son Zane. So that's why I showed The Arrival. Oh, here we go. Superman the movie. This takes me back to when I was a young boy, and my best friend lived up the street. Her name was Terry, and her family, her mom and dad, both are dead now, and God, I love those people. Anyways, they took us, all of us kids, for the first time to Mann Chinese Theater in Hollywood. That is an awesome theater. Very expensive, very hard to get into. They took us to go see this. and that was really exciting, and it brings me back to that time, because then they took us out for ice cream and stuff after. So I miss you, Pat and Stern. I miss you a lot. An American Werewolf in London. This movie, it evokes memory between my brother and I, because the way they reacted to, the way they acted with one another, especially when they're out in the moors, and then big time when they're in that pub. Yeah, that was my brother and I. That was me. That was my brother. That's exactly how we would have reacted, and the way we would have talked, and everything. And it was my brother that said that brought that up. So every time he sees this, and every time I see this, both of us think of that and how we were with each other. And then the last one, Batman Returns. Thinking, wow, well, what kind of memory could come with this? Every single time I watch this one, I think of my mom. She and her boyfriend went to go see this. Now, my mom is a nurse. She's done ER, she's done trauma, she's done, everything. She's come home with horror stories, people losing arms, children with their heads smashed. Just nasty stuff. Motorcycle accidents, gunshots, you name it. Just horrible things, blood everywhere, all kinds of stuff. She's fine with it. But the penguin made her sick. And she ended up throwing it up inside the theater. Oh, my mom's boyfriend told me all about it, and I was laughing. And every time I laughed, she can't stand. Anyways, it's just funny. She's a nurse. She can handle blood. She can handle stuff, but she can't handle stuff coming out of people's mouths. And the penguin, just the way he was, and everything, and the stuff falling out of it, the fish when he was eating the fish, and it kind of fell out of his mouth and stuff. And she couldn't handle it. And she ended up barfing in the theater. Oh, so every time I see this, I wasn't there, but every time I see it, I just picture my mother doubled over, puking, and all these people around her. I just think it's funny as hell. So, there you go, everyone. I'd like to throw out a challenge. Hey, anybody else, show me a vid, make a vid on movies that will will actually take you down memory lane. Share those memories with the rest of us. Okay? I have some other ones, but I decided, no, that's enough. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and we will catch you later. The next stuff up will be, I promise, I will look into my horror movie collection. But you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you later.